Hey Type 7s, welcome to the Summer Survival Guide just for you. And I don't know how long this little video will be because I feel like summers were made for 7s. Like it probably was a 7 who decided, hey, let's just stop school for like 2 months and just have fun. That had to be a 7 who came up with that idea. And just to recap, 7s they bring the fun. 7s are spontaneous. 7s are full of life. 7s want to get the most out of life. 7s have just this energy and this light. They love to go from thing to thing to thing. They seem to never tire. They are all about a party, a good time. So definitely summer. I mean, you may just feel like survive the summer. This is my moment. We have complete freedom to do whatever it is that we want all summer long. And 7s just love to have freedom. It's actually their need, is the need to have options and freedom and not be constrained and not be limited. And so to have a whole summer to do whatever you want, you're just like a kid in a candy shop. But funny to be mentioning a kid in a candy shop just like that. When a kid has too much candy, they can just feel sick. They can feel like they've overdone it, and they can feel a little bit just lethargic and disoriented and not so good. And same thing goes with the 7. What is your strength can also come around and become what actually becomes a difficult thing, something that keeps you from fully enjoying the summer. So what are some triggers for you as a 7? Well, it's the double-edged sword of having all the freedom in the world and having all the freedom in the world. You may overdo it. You may, or even be like, what do I do? Should I say yes to this? Should I say yes to that? What if something better comes up? What if we want to go to the zoo, but then what if another friend is going to the water park? Like, it can almost feel like there's so many options, and a failure to commit to one can actually not only be triggering for you, but can be a little bit problematic for your kids. I don't know if your kids are like this, but if I promise my kids we're doing one thing, they have the memory of an elephant. And even if I promised them like months ago, they will remember it and be like, hey mommy, do you remember when you said? And it can kind of damage the trust between you and your child if you're constantly changing plans. If what you promised doesn't always come to pass. And we don't want that. We want our kids to trust us. We want our kids to know that what we say is true. So that can be a difficult thing for a 7 during the summertime. It can also be difficult when our kids don't just fall in line with our plans. Like, what the heck? I'm planning the best summer ever for you. And they whine and they complain, or they need to take a nap, or they need to stop for a potty break. I mean, when you just want to go, go, go and have fun, nothing will ruin that like a bunch of kids. They are the best, the kids, right? They just bring so much life, but it can be challenging to have to slow down, to have to get all the crap we need to go out the door when they're little, or to have to stop and rest because they're still tiny and they can't go all day. That can be very frustrating for a 7 and make them feel trapped and like, ugh, you know? So be mindful of that as you're moving through summer. Be mindful that even though this is your moment and this is your time, there are also some things that can get a little bit dicey during the summer. But it's okay, because once you're mindful of it, you can move through it with much more awareness. And one of the growth activities that I would recommend for you if you're a 7 is to build in a little bit of buffer, a little bit of space that is sacred where you kind of rest. I know. And don't plan things or do things. I know, just take a breath. We can get through this. And if you go back and watch the episode for Type 3s in the Summer Survival Guide, which is my type, you'll see my reaction to the growth activity that I gave to myself. And I'm right there with you. It feels like, what are you asking me to do? This is death. I can't, no. But the benefit of growth activities is they do feel counterintuitive, like that's against everything that I want to do. But they bring a balance. They bring out the other side of what our instincts are showing us to do, and in doing so, allow the good of our type to actually be good without going overboard and ending up being something that bites us in the butt. So, hear me out. If you create some space, maybe once a week, maybe in the middle of the week, maybe on a Wednesday, and you just call this our lull day or our home day or our rest day, or whatever word doesn't make you want to just freak out. One of my friends calls it her lady of the house day, and it's what she calls it to make her feel like this is a fun thing to stay home and do laundry and water my plants and get groceries. And so whatever you need to call it to make it fun, or if you need to turn it into a game, that's fine. But here's the thing, kids do need rest, and they do need a little bit of space to process all of the stimulus that they are getting when you take them out all the time for fun things. And we did this when we went on vacation. I took my 4 kids to Paris. Beautiful town, beautiful city, beautiful architecture, art, food, everything. And for me, it was a lot. Imagine my kids who are used to going to the same school, in the same classroom, with the same kids, doing the same things, and then they come home and we have the same routine, and then all of a sudden it's like, and so in order to not exhaust them, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, everything, we would go somewhere fun, and then we would go to a park and just let them run, let them talk, ask questions. They had these little paint notebooks, they would paint, and it just helped them process everything that they saw. And then they were kind of like ready to go again. It's almost like if you're eating food, you gotta like stop eating for a little bit so you can digest, so then you can eat some more. You can't just continuously eat. You'll be very sick. It's not how our bodies work. We have to take in, digest, take in, digest. Think of your rest times as times for the kids to truly appreciate, soak in, and just digest all the fun that you've had with them. It's a blessing to them. And even though it might not feel like it, it will be a blessing to you as well. To slow down from the go, 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 plan, 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 fun, 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 to a little bit of rest and connecting with your kids and asking them, hey, what did you think of that water park? What was your favorite slide or ride or whatever? And just getting to connect, not moving so fast that you're not present in the moment with your little ones. That's what they really want from us. And 7s are an aggressive number, which means they are oriented to time in the future. You're always planning things ahead. You're always thinking ahead. You're always in the future. What's gonna be next? That's awesome, but it's gonna take discipline to pull yourself into the present, to sit with your child, to read a book with them, to color a picture with them. Set a timer, because it's gonna feel, I'm also an aggressive number. I know how this feels when you're like, oh, but I just wanna go and do stuff. It's gonna feel a little bit tough. I set a timer, so I know I'm not doing this into infinitum, whatever. 5-10 minutes, where I'm just phones away, I'm not thinking about the future, I'm just gonna sit with my child, soak them in, rest and breathe and digest everything we've done and connect. That's my growth activity that I'm challenging you with. All right? Okay. Also, this goes for every number, but those sheets of paper that come alongside, that you can print out, that come with this training, that kind of prompts you to look back over your day and see, what were my triggers, what were my good parts of the day, what were kind of the hard parts of the day, just kind of evaluating, because this training here is going to kind of teach you what to anticipate. But the reflection pages, if you do them every night for a week, are gonna show you, looking back, specifically to you what triggers you. Specifically to you when your child does this one thing that just sets you off. And then once you identify that, you can see it coming. You can pause. You can choose to show up as your best self, because you're not just automatically like, it's happening, I respond. It's happening, I respond. You're pausing, identifying, realizing how you respond, and then when it comes up again, you can choose to be your best self. That's the best part of the Enneagram, really, is like, oh, I know who I am. I know how I respond to these things. It's not good or bad, it just is what it is. I can pause, I can be mindful, I can choose my best self. So make sure you do those pages. That's really a growth activity for all the numbers, but especially for aggressive numbers that are always forward thinking, to actually print out papers, sit down and look back at the day takes a lot of discipline. Even if you just do it for 3 or 4 or 5 days, not even all 7, it will help you immensely. Don't skip over that activity, okay? And I'm saying that to myself too, because I don't like doing it either, but it helps. It's worth it. Really, really worth it. All right, so what's your superpower as a 7? Well, we kind of covered it. You bring the fun. You do the things. You get messy. You just throw caution to the wind and have a fabulous time. Your kids are going to remember this summer because you're gonna do something fabulous with it. And that's just such a gift. Feel free to challenge other moms or dads around you to bring the fun. Feel free to bring your gifts to bear in this season and really stir the pot, because a lot of us other numbers, sometimes it's hard for us to have the fun. It's hard for us to let our hair down. It's hard for us to soak up these moments, and it's your instinct to do that. So press into that, as long as you're willing to balance it out with a little bit of built-in rest time, a little bit of breather, and a little bit of processing. Then just sky's the limit, go for it. Have a great summer. And 7s, you're just my favorite.